Ralakashika katala. Kokoteke hindala bakashika kata. Rika katala. Rika kashika katala. Likokotebe behin. Riekeke shika katala. Katala papahandala. Katala papashiko kotele. Nememe kotebe behin. Kakashika katala. Rika katala papahan. Kokotebe behin. Katala papashiko kote. Malakatala kahanda. In the name of Jesus. In the name. Thank you for taking this time. We are live again today. We are continuing from yesterday. We just want to thank God for this opportunity that to be here as well again to as well stream live from Hoedspruit and talking to all our churches. This is day 2 of our seminar as we started yesterday. So, but we just want to appreciate this time and take this opportunity to appreciate you being here as well, trying to take time as well and connecting. And we just want to thank God. God is wonderful. God is amazing. He's a factor that can never change. He's a God who's always on our side. He's a God we can rely on. So today we're going to look at some few things as we are starting now with this session. We had a wonderful time, and I've noted yesterday that also some people, of course, they had a problem with the internet connection. I believe that God continue as we have started. As we have started, what you are doing to try to make sure that you are speaking to our people everywhere, speaking to the believers everywhere. That effort, it goes without notice. It may look like a little effort, but it is more, and it takes more. There is more to it. So God bless you and God strengthen you. There are a few things that I want you to look into as we're going to continue, as we're going to start pressing on talking about the Zion dimension. Light should shine brighter every day. So every time the days did not allow them to come into 2020, to go into the 4 days, years are separated by doors, and only to find that when you had to enter 2020, the door of 2020 did not open for you, and you remain in 2019. So there are people who are still in yesterday when they are supposed to be in the new day. And the order of God is that every time, what should happen to you is that every day should be better than yesterday. The light of today should be brighter than yesterday. And I believe God will be helping you. Yesterday's light will never be better than today's light. So these are a few things that I want you to take note before we can continue further. I want you to understand something. When you meet grace, do not ignore it. There are many people who find themselves in opportunities of encountering grace, but only to find that when they met grace, they ignored grace. When you meet grace, do not ignore grace. Grace can be defined into two. Grace, we can always define it as an unmerited favor. This is one part of grace. But again, grace can be defined as an ability that it's given upon a person to be able to do certain things. So sometimes when you meet people who are having certain God abilities, and those abilities will give unto you certain possibilities. Do not ignore it, because ignoring that means that closing the door, or unable to open the door to those possibilities. I want to believe that God is helping you there. Closing the door that opens to possibilities, and you must never close that door that opens to possibilities. So every time you meet grace, do not ignore it. I'm just trying to help you quickly. Every time you meet grace, do not ignore grace. You cannot meet Elijah in your life and you ignore Elijah. Because this person is not just a nobody. This person, when his word controls environment, there are people you meet in your life, when they speak, the environments in your life change. There are people in you meet your life, even if you ignore them, but they are holding certain God possibilities to speak into your life, and things begin to change into your life. To speak into your doors, and doors open. To speak into your situations, and your situation begin to respond. So never meet grace and ignore grace. You cannot just meet Elijah and you look at Elijah as if Elijah is just the same person, is just the same as any other person that you met before. When you meet grace, do not ignore grace. When you meet grace, do not underestimate grace. Never meet Elijah and you think Elijah is just a nobody. That person, when he speaks, he can speak and your heaven can be closed. These are dangerous people that when he speaks to your heaven and your heaven closes. And you must know that once your heaven closes, it means your earth will be locked. And once your earth is locked, your earth will refuse to give you things that are due to you. One thing that the earth must be able to do to you as a believer, is that earth must be able to help you. But you can find that earth cannot help you. As a child of God, earth must respond to you. As the child of God, earth must be able to respond when you are in need. Earth must help you. So there are 5 elements of when you in the book of Revelation. There is a certain woman who gave birth to a man child, a son, and then the dragon came after her in trying to devour her. And the Bible is very specific. She was held by the spirit and she fled into the desert. Look at the desert. When you find yourself in the desert, you must know that you are in a hopeless situation. When you find yourself in the desert, you must know that you are in a place, the desert has nothing to give to you. But something notable happened when the woman arrived in the desert. She arrived in the desert, and the Bible is very clear that the desert began to help her. The desert brought food for her. When you are in the desert and the desert begin to give you food, listen to this. The earth is responding to the one who is in the desert. Can I speak into your life? May your environment respond to you. May your territory respond to you. When the woman arrives in the desert began to recognize the kind of a species, the kind of a person who has come into its territory. And the desert, instead of withholding food, the desert began to give unto the woman food. Let me speak this into your life. May the desert give you food. May your environment begin to help you. May your situation step out. Wherever you are, it does not matter that the doors of the territory did not open. There are 2 things. Door, it gives you an access to the house, but a gate gives you an access to the territory. Sometimes you may have tried very hard to walk into the territory, and only to find that the territory is not opening up for you. It means the gates for the territory are closed. But let me tell you something. There is a certain group of people who, when they come into the territory, access, denied entrance to certain people. But there is a certain group of people, a certain species, that when they come to a territory, the gates of the territory will begin to open. Those who have been watching the territory and making sure that the gates do not open, there are certain group of people when they come alive. Now, the moment you ignore Elijah, you are ignoring somebody who can speak into your heavens, and your heavens will begin to open up. So these are people you must never ignore. These are people, when you meet them, don't ignore them. You meet the heavens and the watchmen over the earth. May God help you. May God help you. So there are certain people you must never ignore. You don't just meet people and ignore them. Even if you have never met carry, you do your mouth have no gates, and you speak as if you control everything. You may have everything, but you don't control. You don't control what happened in the atmosphere. You don't control what happened. Nothing to you, but you must be very careful, because those people are defended by God. At the day and the time God responds, then troubles comes into your life. And advise him to say, we could go up there and consult with the man of God, and consult with the man of God. And when he went there to consult with the man of God, 2 or 3 things happened in Samuel's life. When he arrived there, I want to show you and called whoever he thinks in their surrounding and also in their families. But something notable is that God, when you arrive in an entertainment sector, in that art sector, you are a church there. You are an embodiment of God there. You don't have to tell everybody how to pray, but your values become injected in the area. Can I quickly tell you something? The environments are named after what we carry, are named after what governs our lives, the spiritual things, that the spiritual heaven, the spiritual atmospheres that are in our lives. So that's how the came, and with that influence that he had, he went to the political leader